Our Luminar AI coffee break topic is what's new with Luminar AI Update 4, including the most anticipated. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less starting now. All right, so here we are. If you want to find out more in detail what's included with Luminar Update 4, remember it's an update, so it's a free update. Just check out the user guide, and from in here, just click on Luminar Update 4, and you'll see the different things that have been updated. Now, of course, everyone's been talking about the Boca AI, which we're going to demonstrate in a moment. But let's not forget there's other things that are also included in this update. One of those, which a lot of you landscape lovers are going to love, is precise horizon control in Sky AI. The team continues to improve on this incredible tool. And then you can look down through here and you can see the different fixes that the team did to make it Luminar AI more stable, faster, and just a better overall experience. All right, so let me jump right in to the Portrait Bokeh AI. So here's a great example of how we could use Portrait Bokeh AI. And let me show you down in here. This was shot with an 85mm lens at f5.6. I purposely shot it at 5.6 because I wanted to show you how we could get these beautiful geometric shapes using Portrait Bokeh AI. So here it is before, and here it is after. So let me quickly show you how I did this, all right? Now, if you have questions, leave those in the comments below, and we'll try to answer them during the show. I have about 8 minutes to show you how we can get this beautiful look, all right? So I'm gonna click on the Edit tab, and I'm going to come down here to the portrait section. Keep in mind, this is a portrait tool. Right now, it only works with portraits. So let me start with the history. I'm going to start right from where I cropped it, so we'll get rid of the Portrait Bokeh AI. All right. Now, I'm going to click on the tool. The amount slider is going to determine the blur effect, or the depth of field. So if I were to shoot this, look what it automatically did. It did an incredible job masking the subject. I mean, that's awesome. We also have control, like this little piece right here, we have control over that, which I'll show you. But that amount slider, I'll take it to an extreme, that dictates that the blur effect, and it's simulating if I shot this with a 2.8mm lens or 1.4, or if I shot it with a telephoto lens. It's mimicking that type of a look. So far, this looks really good, but there's a little spot, not that big of a deal, but right here on Lewis. So what I'm going to do is come over here and give it a second. See that little spot right there? Let's get rid of it. So right now it's in focus. What we want to do is, so what we want to do is defocus it. So I click down the defocus tab, and using the left and right bracket keys, I can make the brush bigger or smaller. Now, if I hold down the shift key, I can control the feather. Windows users, you got to be loving that. All right. So again, shift is going to dictate the feathering or the hardness. Now I'm going to come across here and just paint that out. I mean, how cool is that? So you still have complete control over the mask itself by using either the focus or the defocus. Now, restore is going to restore the mask back to where it was originally. So that's what the restore button is going to do. Now we're going to click on background, and now we're going to control what happens to the background here. Let's darken it just a little bit. That looks good. And now the depth correction. This is going to give us those, in this case here, those geometric shapes that we're looking for. I'm going to slide it to the left. Look at that. Look how it brings that, the focus, how it throws that background because there's light back there out of focus. Now in doing that, I did mess up a little bit here. So I'm going to dial back some of the blur here. Good, and that's going to give me that little, this right here is going to make it look a little bit better. You know, he was shot in a little area to where he's actually leaning into it. So that little piece right there could look a little awkward. So we're going to adjust it by doing the blur. And here we are again with that depth correction. Now, if I move that slider all the way to the right, then it's going to increase the field of view. And by doing that here, look, it brings it back into focus. So let's dial that back here. All right. So, oh, I love how that looks. All right. So that looks great. Edge correction, if it wasn't making a great selection around here, this is where we can tighten in the section and make it tighter, make the edges feathered in more, all right? So that's it. And again, you have the choice if you want to warm the background up, or I'm sorry, cool it down, or want to warm it up just a little bit like this. Look how awesome that looks. All right? So we have that set. I apologize. So we have that set here, and we'll do the before and after. Let's do the before and after. I had the phone on mute, so I apologize. There we go. There. All right. All right. So I love live broadcasting. So with that Portrait Bokeh, don't forget, we can also use the other tools at our disposal, such as Accent AI. So when you're done using the Portrait Bokeh, don't forget to go back and still use and still enhance the image like you normally would. All right. Now, let's look real quick at a question. Good. Hello, Pam. All right. Ian says, can Boca AI do multiple subjects? And the answer to that is yes. Now, keep in mind, when would we use Portrait Bokeh AI? In this case here, I could have shot with a 2.8 or 1.4 lens. I purposely shot at 5.6 because if we come over here, and I'll share my screen in a moment. So notice over here, it was shot at 250 ISO and 1/160th of a second. So I easily could have dropped that way down to 2.8 and then bumped up my ISO just a bit. But keep in mind, I shot it with an 85 millimeter lens. You need at least like an 85 or above, 200 a telephoto lens, and f4 would give us that beautiful bokeh too. So what causes bokeh is that depth of field. What causes these geometric shapes that I just absolutely love is light. If you have light coming in on around the background, you're going to get those beautiful geometric shapes along with the bokeh, that softening effect. So multiple people in an image, if I want this look in camera, and they're side by side, not a problem, but if one person is behind them, if we have a person behind them and one person's in front, I can't shoot it at 2.8 because if I do, the person behind them is going to become out of focus. So I may have to shoot it at f8. If I shoot it at f8, I'm not going to get that beautiful bokeh that we just saw. That's when you'd use Portrait Bokeh AI, because even at f8, it'll make that background look beautiful. All right? So try it out. Make sure you get to the user manual right here and check out what's new. And then if you want more information about any of our tools, just make sure you just type it up in here, hit enter, check it out, bip, and here's that new section that we just talked about right in here to add that special extra control over our Sky AI. Well, hey guys, I'm Vanelli. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.